You like jokes?
My name is Chris.
Hi, I'm Kev.
I'm Mario.
I'm Jared.
And I'm going to be telling the story of The Goonies.
By Steven Spielberg.
And pay attention for the golden word.
We start the story and we're in prison.
There's a guy and he's hung himself.
The guard comes in to check out.
He's like, oh, he must be dead. Oh, I'll just see what this letter says.
It says, moron.
And then he gets hit over the head.
He runs out, and his brother and his mom are waiting out there for him in the car.
We meet the Forelli family. They're a bunch of Italian mobsters from the Bronx.
Brother's made like this little, he's like laid out gasoline everywhere.
And they shoot the gasoline in it.
And it explodes and the cops just can't hop over fire.
They hop in their Jeep and they speed away.
And then the police start chasing him and
They stop for a little bit, and they're like, hey mom, why do you stop? Why do you stop? And it's because
So they go on a racetrack full of derby cars and
she gets into it perfectly, and gets off, and they get to their hideout.
Now we're in the household of
the two brothers, Mickey and
Mikey and his brother, Brand.
Mickey's brother.
Bren, the two brothers, and live in this house, and this whole area, like, geez.
They start talking about how their house is going to get torn down and a golf course is going to get built over.
Friends start arriving one by one and
One of Mikey's friends gets their mouth.
Hey Mikey, what's up? He walks in, cracks a couple jokes.
Next comes Chunk. Chunk is the...
Oh! Their fat friend shows up.
Okay guys, let me in.
Nice one. Chunk is the... Oh!
No, we're not gonna let you in until you do the truffle shuffle.
You have to do the truffle shuffle.
Alright guys. So, hey Todd, you wanna show them the truffle shuffle?
What?
You wanna do the truffle shuffle?
truffle shuffle, which this guy's gonna do right now.
Truffle shuffle?
Sure.
He has to do what's called the truffle shuffle. And actually, Todd, could you do that for us?
Yeah, sure.
Truffle shuffle.
They let him in this really elaborate way and they flip a switch and the ball rolls down.
The chicken and a ball and like an egg and all kinds of stuff. Chunk gets in the door. Oh! I'm stupid.
And they hear their friend Data, who lives in the house next door, he's gonna come over. And he does this whole like Inspector Gadget kind of thing.
Before mom comes home, a little chubby kid breaks this little statue. It's mom's favorite statue. It's like of David, the naked guy. Oh!
You guys thought I was gonna drop it, didn't you? And then he goes to put it on the table and it drops and breaks off the penis.
The mom and Rosarito comes in and
His mom comes home, and
The New Jersey kid just happens to speak Spanish, so we translate,
can I get a second?
but he doesn't translate it correctly. He says like dirty stuff.
Like, I'm cool, just need to figure out which camera's which right now.
And then there's the attic.
Sexual torture devices.
That's where the dad keeps all of his sexual torture devices.
mouth. He says, he translates something like rape dungeon.
The mom goes off and they're like, what's gonna happen to all the stuff in your house after you move?
Mikey's dad's a curator for a museum.
They go up to the rape dungeon to the attic and
Mikey finds what looks like a map.
this treasure map.
And Samwise, he really just wants to go on this treasure hunt.
How much fun that'd be, our last Goonie adventure.
It's Four-Eyed Freddy's
One-Eyed Willie.
Map.
Mikey has to stay inside because he's gonna get sick.
Brandon doesn't want them to go because, he has his hot date on Friday. And
With this girl, Andy. because she's hot. Oh, come on.
For some reason, they need to tie up the brother, and the brother's just like, oh, well, look at me.
And they tie up their brother.
They start going on their Goonie adventure.
They follow the map, and they go to where it says it is.
And then Bran finally tries to chase after him.
Steals a little girl's pink bike and heads off.
Goonies, they arrive at
A diner. It's like a boarded up diner.
So they get to this restaurant and they see these people and they're like, oh,
so they're not sure if they want to go inside because there's people.
these personages at the restaurant, and the chubby kid.
Chunks are like, well, they're maybe the drug dealers.
They're like, that's the place. We should just go inside.
And then, Data's like, oh, no, don't drug dealers come in there. See the clothes they wear?
They go to the restaurant, and their plan is to, okay, we're gonna go in the restaurant, we're gonna, oh man!
So they go in and they're looking around.
It's like, hey boys, what can I help you with?
The mom looks like Mad-Eye Moody.
And she's like, here, have a glass of water that's not water, but it's...
She put roofies in it. She was trying to vaporate them.
And so that freaks them out, and then they leave, and then they come back when they're gone, and then...
Little Mikey, he's got his plan in his head. He's like,
Hey Mikey, gotta go to the bathroom.
so he goes downstairs and
Then he hears like this opera singing.
Ave Maria.
And it's the Fratelli guy, and he's.
You said the magic word!
Just kidding.
He goes back upstairs.
Mikey's sibling is there. And I don't know how he got in, and he takes him out. He's like, you guys are in so much trouble.
And so they're all here at the restaurant.
You gotta go in. That's where the treasure is.
Two girls come.
His sibling is like, oh, I gotta go in. This girl's here. Gotta impress her.
Andy and the ugly one.
So they go back on their adventure as soon as the Fratellis leave.
The ugly one?
Eventually they're all downstairs, and
Asian kid comes in,
chubby kid is just like freaking out.
and he's playing with this big old machine he finds, and it starts printing out $50 bills. He's like, $50 bill, $50 bill, $50.
You said the golden word! Chuck knocks over the water.
Kevin Hyatt, come on down.
Chunk finds ice cream in the freezer.
What happens? The Fratellis come back. And,
So they started hiding, and Chunk went in the freezer.
and then the Fratellis leave.
Find the lowest point in the house, and so they figure the water's running down towards the fireplace. And so...
So they go through the hole, and they're back in they're in this tunnel.
So they all get down there and realize, wait, where's Chunk?
For some reason, Chunk gets locked in the freezer with the dead.
Oh! They're like, no, you gotta go. Go get the police. Because they've already pulled, like, the,
So they're back in the tunnel, like, we gotta find the treasure, right?
So he goes to escape out the window.
But what's going on with Chunk? Oh, he stops in the middle of the street, and he's like, hey, you gotta take me to the police, because, I saw that crime family, the Fratellis.
He's out on the street. And
I can describe all three of them perfectly. And then who is it? Oh, it's the Fratelli brothers.
And then he rolls down the window and it's the bread people.
They get the chubby kid, they take him.
They take him back to the little diner and they're, tell us everything.
I don't know, mister.
And he starts telling them like everything that he's ever done in his entire life bad.
I threw up and I put it in a bag
Tells him this really funny story about puking.
and then I went to the movies
He's crying the whole time.
and I made this noise.
He actually did rat out his friends.
And then I dumped it on the people. But that's not the worst part.
They were downstairs under the fireplace and they're like, no, they're not.
Then they started throwing up on each other.
And so they decide to put him in the room with the big guy.
It was terrible.
They become friends. They bond over a Baby Ruth bar.
And he meets this creature.
And he's kind of deformed. He's like, his eyebrows like this.
And he's all deformed and
And he talks, you talk like this.
sloth.
And his name, oh, I bet you his name is a word, is Sloth.
So the Goonies are under this place with like booty traps.
They're going through the creepy tunnel, the cave.
Couple of booty traps. They're booby traps, but...
And then they finally get to a wishing well.
Meanwhile, Chubby Kid and Three-Toed Marsupial, they break free.
Then Troy and his douchebag buddies are up.
Is that the magic word?
The Goonies are down there, and they're heading through this tunnel, and you got the Sprellies behind them, and
Jared.
then you got the two friends.
They have to make their way to wherever they think the treasure is.
Data falls and
The Goonies get to this place that's underneath a wishing well, right? Okay. And there's all this money on the ground. They're like, this is...
You know, up there, that's their time. Our parents, they're doing the thing, it's their time. Down here, it's our time. Down here, our time, down here. It's really inspirational. And they're like...
And it's really moving and inspirational, just like in the movie Rudy. It's like the same thing.
you nervous? I'm not nervous.
They decide, yes. What was for? What was for?
And they continue forward.
They hit this thing where it's like all this like watered down thing they have to try and get across. And that's when the crime family shows up.
But the Frachetters are there.
That's when our friend from Vietnam once again uses his gadgets to save them.
Guys, I have an idea. I can't do the Asian accent very good. Slick shoes.
And shoots out.
Oiled the thing and they all fall and crack the growings.
Just nut themselves really hard. And then they speak in really high voice.
Golden World! Oh yes!
And they get into this room where there's this giant organ with a skeleton. It's like,
Cameron,
oh look, we have to play this or we'll die.
there's this big organ thing. Oh, it's not even there. I'm like flinching and stuff.
Yeah. One of the girls says, "Oh, I know how to play."
Musical instrument, like a piano, but it's not. Yeah, I hope that was. Oh, what? I used two on that?
Finally get a ride and they go down the water slide and
Whoa, a pirate ship.
It's like a mountain of like coins.
It's One-Eyed Willie's treasure.
There's a moment between Samwise Gamgee and One-Eyed Willie, the skeleton pirate, and it's very touching, and he talks to One-Eyed.
Big marble bag, dump out the marbles, put in all these gems, everything, they got it. Everything awesome. Oh, but
Let's get the treasure, and so they start loading all their pockets up and everything.
the bad people, they're coming too.
Behind them, all of a sudden you hear Mad Eye Moody, and she's like,
they're like, "Good idea." That's they're standing behind them with their guns. And they're like, "Ah."
And they get them all and they tie them up.
And the girl, she's just complaining. She's like, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, "Okay, well, you can walk the plank. You want to play pirate?" And they make her walk the plank. And
now comes in Chubby Kid and Sloth.
Oh! Do I have a handprint across my face? Because it feels like it.
boom, Sloth and Chunk show up.
Hey, you guys! Hey, you guys!
They do what they saw in the pirate movie. He like slides down with a knife.
You're done. Mythbusters prove that you can't do that, by the way.
Mama? And he goes, like, Mama, you've been bad.
The brothers find the gold.
They go down to get some treasure. They set off the big ol' huge booby trap.
I'm done.
The whole place starts caving in and they gotta get out.
They light a candle and it's like not a candle, it's dynamite, and then they throw it at the wall.
They throw it, hole in the wall.
But then this huge big rock kind of like falls, like right in the way of it.
Then Sloth comes and picks up the rock.
Funny scene because they're all going through his legs.
Sloth, I just want to let you know, I love you. I love you too. Yay, we're free and we have... Well, they don't have any treasure because they left it, right?
The kids get on the beach and like the cops show up.
Super jerk guy shows up.
Troy's dad comes. He's apparently the guy.
Oh! He's like, hey, well, sign these papers because I'm foreclosing all your homes.
He has the pen, he's gonna sign, he's about to sign.
Rosalita is looking through all their stuff and
Finds jewels.
finds a bag full of gems.
Don't sign the papers.
The crime family also comes up with Sloth.
Basically, the cops get him.
Sloth, you're gonna come live with me now. And I'm gonna take care of you. Because I love you. I love you too, Chunk.
And then everyone's all like, yay, happy, and all this other stuff. And that's pretty much all I remember, so that's the end.
And that's the Goonies. The end.
Yeah!